Lindsie Chrisley's family reveals feelings about name change. Lindsie Chrisley's family has revealed their feelings about her name change. Lindsie has been estranged from her family for years. However, she decided to make things even more official with her recent change of her last name. Fans were shocked to see she just did this now, as there have been plenty of opportunities prior to now. There is a lot to unfold and uncover. Keep reading to find out more about this situation. Lindsie Chrisley changes her last name. Lindsie Chrisley has not been close with her family for years. However, she recently decided to change her last name on social media. Fans noticed she changed her name to Lindsie Landsman. This is not the last name of her biological mother. However, she is dating David Landsman, so she took his last name. Lindsie did clarify to fans that they are not married, but that he has been there for her and her child. So this is the last name she chose. She has been contemplating this for a while, but decided to do it quietly, not thinking fans would notice so quickly. Her family reveals feelings about her name change. A source close to the family has revealed how they feel about Lindsie changing her last name. There hasn't been a real relationship in a long time, so the name change isn't surprising. The timing just feels more calculated than heartfelt. A lot of pain has been caused over the years, and the space between them has brought a sense of peace the family had not felt in a long time. Lindsie has had a lot of problems with Todd, Savannah, and the rest of the Chrisley family, so this did not come as a shock to anyone. However, they are glad the family is not too bothered by this. It seems as though the Chrisley family is not too upset by Lindsie changing her last name. They have not been close or in a good spot for years, so it is not the biggest deal to them that she did this. However, fans were more shocked that she changed her name to her boyfriend's last name when they were not married. However, she is the one who ultimately had to choose what she wanted her new last name to be. What do you think about this situation? Are you shocked? Sound off in the comments below. We would love to hear your thoughts on this situation. Chrisley family breaks silence. Inside their emotional reactions to changing the family name. In a revelation that has left longtime fans speechless and the entertainment world buzzing, the Chrisley family, known for their Southern charm, primetime wit, and reality TV success, has publicly addressed growing conversations about a possible name change. Once celebrated as reality television royalty, the Chrisley name has since become entangled with scandal, legal battles, and prison sentences. Now, after years of carrying both the glamour and the weight of their family legacy, the remaining Chrisley children, led by Savannah Chrisley, are discussing the unthinkable, letting go of the Chrisley name. But what does it really mean to consider changing your name when it's not just a surname, but a brand, a legacy, a burden, and in many ways, a curse? In a new interview series, emotional podcast episodes, and exclusive behind-the-scenes family conversations, the Chrisleys reveal the deeply personal, divided, and often painful feelings surrounding a possible renaming of their public identity. The Chrisley name has been at the center of national headlines, from the heights of red carpets to the lows of courtroom verdicts. And now, it might soon be part of history. This isn't just a story about a name. It's a story about transformation, accountability, trauma, forgiveness, and identity. The trigger: public pressure and personal pain. The question of a name change didn't come out of nowhere. Following the incarceration of Todd and Julie Chrisley for financial crimes that rocked the nation, Savannah Chrisley, now the de facto matriarch and media manager of the family, began receiving a flood of messages from fans, critics, and even sponsors asking, why keep the Chrisley name? What was once a name associated with high ratings and family fun had become associated with fraud, deception, and scandal. As Savannah stepped into the role of guardian for her younger brother Grayson and adopted niece Chloe, she was also forced to confront a truth she couldn't ignore. Her last name had changed in meaning and perhaps in value. It started with a DM. Savannah confessed in a recent podcast episode of Unlocked with Savannah Chrisley. Someone said, "You'll never escape your past unless you let go of your name." And I'll admit it stung. But then more came. People started saying, "Your name is your brand. Why hold on to something that's broken?" And for the first time, I didn't know how to answer. Savannah Chrisley, torn between loyalty and has become the most visible member of the family in recent years, taking over media appearances, raising her siblings, and launching a podcast that's doubled as a therapy session and public diary. Her brand, once rooted in luxury beauty and Southern sass, has evolved into a mix of raw vulnerability and Gen Z grit. Still, she remains fiercely loyal to her parents and what the Chrisley name once represented. "I've never seen our name as something shameful," she said. "To me, it was always about family. It was about love, about survival, about Southern tradition with a twist of crazy. But I get it now. There are people who hear Chrisley and immediately think fraud. That's not something I can ignore anymore." Savannah admitted that she's been in legal conversations about whether it would be feasible or even wise to take on a new last name, possibly reverting to her mother's maiden name or adopting a professional pseudonym. "I'm torn," she admitted, "because it feels like giving up, like admitting that my parents' worst mistakes define us. But I also want a future where I don't have to walk into a room and feel like I need to explain myself." Grayson and Chloe, navigating identity in the shadows of scandal. Perhaps the most poignant part of the name change conversation revolves around Grayson Chrisley and Chloe Chrisley, both minors who have found their lives thrust into the public eye at far too young an age. While Savannah has largely shielded them from media scrutiny, she shared that even Grayson, who once proudly wore Chrisley Knows Best merch, has started questioning the name. "There was a moment," Savannah recalled, her voice cracking, "when Grayson looked at me and said, 'Sav, what if I don't want to be a Chrisley anymore?' I didn't know how to respond. He's just a teenager, and yet he's carrying this immense weight that no kid should carry." Chloe, adopted by Todd and Julie years ago, has also asked questions. She's starting to hear things, Savannah explained. At school, on social media, people say things about her last name, and she doesn't understand why people who don't know her, don't love her parents, can be so cruel. Savannah said she started therapy for both kids and has opened the door for them to decide their future names when they're ready. "If they want to change their last names, I won't stop them. They deserve to grow up with freedom, not fear." Nanny Faye, the matriarch's heartbreak. For fans of Chrisley Knows Best, one of the most beloved figures was Nanny Faye Chrisley, Todd's mother and the comedic secret weapon of the show. Now in her late 70s and battling health issues, Nanny Faye had some of the most emotional thoughts to share about the name change talk. "I don't care what nobody says," she said in a teary video call shared by Savannah. "That name means something to me. It's who we are. It's who your daddy is. And I don't want it buried just because times are hard." According to Savannah, her grandmother sees the name as a symbol of endurance, not disgrace. She told me, "Baby, we've been through worse. And if God brought us through it, don't let the world take our name from us." But I also know she doesn't have to go to job interviews or walk red carpets with that name anymore. She doesn't have to carry it the same way I do. Chase Chrisley, the silent agreement. Chase Chrisley, usually more reserved when it comes to family drama, offered a rare statement during a recent Instagram Q&A. When asked by a fan if he ever considered changing his last name, Chase replied simply, "We've all thought about it. Doesn't mean we're ready to." Savannah elaborated that Chase has wrestled with it privately but isn't emotionally prepared to make that decision. "He told me it's not about the name. It's about how we live with it now. And I think he's right. A new name won't erase the past, but maybe it helps us start again." The legal and brand implications. Beyond emotional struggles, there's a logistical reality to any potential name change, one that's complicated by business contracts, intellectual property, and ongoing legal cases. The Chrisley brand is still active, said a media attorney not affiliated with the family. There are licensing deals, trademarks, and unresolved matters. Changing a name might distance them from scandal, but it could also mean walking away from a profitable empire. For Savannah, that's been one of the hardest parts. We built something huge. Yes, we made mistakes, but we also made people laugh, cry, believe in family. I don't want to erase that.
Fans
I
react.
just want to rebuild a divided nation of Chrisley supporters. The Chrisley Nation, still alive and vocal on social media, is split on the issue. Some fans have rallied behind Savannah's contemplation, urging her to start fresh and reclaim her own name. Let go of the Chrisley curse, one fan wrote. You're more than that last name. Others, however, believe a name change would be a betrayal of the very fans who supported the family from the beginning. The Chrisley name means something, one longtime viewer tweeted. It means family, laughter, loyalty. Don't throw that away because of what the world says. The road ahead, decision pending. As of now, no final decision has been made. Savannah said she's still in the processing phase and wants to allow time and space for each family member to reach their own conclusion. If we do change the name, she said it won't be a PR move. It'll be a soul move. She's also hinted that whatever name the family decides on next, if any, will symbolize survival, strength, and truth. This isn't about forgetting who we were, she concluded. It's about finally stepping into who we're becoming. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, America Trends 24, and stay with us.